Glitched out. Never mind. Okay, let's get started. Get all your faithful by the faithful long sleeves tank tops and men and women t-shirts. Visit www.ninersfaithfulradio.com/shop. Also, go to cgiant.com and use the promo code Niners Faithful Radio to save on all your concert, theater, and sporting events. Get officially licensed Niners gear by using our affiliate link. You save 10% and it helps out the show. Also, go to ninersfaithfulradio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can subscribe to the Niners Faithful Radio. We are on all platforms. Uh Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter. You can visit that at Niners Faithful Radio, and for Twitter, for Tumblr, it would be Niners Faithful R. And that is it. I'm reviewing week 13, the loss against the Seattle. What's up, Robert? Um, Nothing much here. Just trying to do a review. Still faithful as heck. Yeah, heck yeah. Um, I don't see um any. I mean, I can say a lot of people lost faith, but heck, I'm not gonna lose faith until the end. Your score. Oh, we got a little. Your score for the Week 13 game was 30-23, with obviously Seattle on top. Uh, what else? And and now I'm gonna go over all the stats that happened. And yeah. So for our quarterback room, Jimmy Garoppolo went 20 for 30 with 299 yards, an average of 10 per throw. He threw 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions. It looks like he got sacked one time, I believe. Or no, 5 times. 5 times. Yeah. And Elijah Mitchell with 22 carries for 66 yards. Not a big running game from the Niners this week. And George Kittle had a jet sweep. He got 5 yards. Jimmy Garoppolo attempted to rush it twice and got 0 yards. For receiving, we got George Kittle with the leader with 9 receptions with 181 yards, an average of 20, 2 touchdowns, and a long touchdown to 48 yards. I think I'm lagging a bit. I'm not sure if you guys can tell me. How about DJ Jones' stop? Oh, man. You can definitely tell when he's there. He's a guy who can get around you pretty quickly. He hits pretty hard. I mean, he is pretty big, and I like him. He's a solid member of that front D line, and uh, I believe he created a fumble. I don't think we recovered it though. And I was talking about Brandon Ayuk with 3 receptions, 55 yards, and the 21 long, 6 targets. Kyle Juszczyk with 2 receptions for 21 yards. The longest was 13, and he was targeted 3 times. Elijah Mitchell coming in the receiving game. He had 3 receptions, 18 yards, targeted 3 times as well. Trent Sherfield receptions, 2 and 16 yards, 5 targets. Jawan Jennings had 1 reception, 8 yards, and 1 target. So for touchdowns, it was just George Kittle for receiving. Right here, we're gonna go fumbles. Dante Johnson, I believe, yeah, he received one. He picked one up. Emmanuel Mosley had one, and Travis Benjamin had a fumble, and we received 2 fumbles. We lost one, and yeah. For defense, let me see here. Defense right here. Aziz Ashair with 216 tackles, uh, TOTs. I forgot. I always forget that stat line. He had 11 solo tackles. He had half a sack, and he had 1 tackle for loss, and he had a QB hit. Aziz was one of those players who was all over the field, and you could definitely tell that he was there because he really made some noise. And DJ Jones had 7 solo tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and those were pretty big on some big plays. Uh, K'Wan Williams had 4 solo tackles. He had um, he had 1 pass deflection, and yeah. Tart had 4 solo tackles, and that's all the stats on him. Jimmy Ward with 3 solo tackles. And then the list goes on and on. Yeah, let me find one. We had 8 QB hits with Arden Key, Jordan Willis, 3 from Nick Bosa, 1 that created a fumble, and 2 from Eric Armstead. And I believe there's one more. Yeah, Aziz Al-Shair had 1 as well. Yeah. And we had 6 tackles for losses, 4 sacks. Arden Key had half a sack. Jordan Willis had a sack. Nick Bosa had a sack. Eric Armstead had a sack. And Aziz had half a sack. No, Seattle only had 1 sack. For interceptions, K'Wan Williams had 1. It was a deflected ball off off of the hand of Jared Everett from Seattle's tight end. Yeah. And now for special teams, it was a sloppy week of special teams. If you have not seen it, Trenton Canyon did leave the game on the opening kickoff. Uh, Thankfully, it's just a concussion. It looked way more serious on the field, and that's good news that we heard. That it's just a minor concussion because he did leave off the stretcher. So Travis Benjamin had 2 kickoff returns for 24 yards. He did a fumble 1, and Jermichael Hasty returned 1. He returned it all the way for 23 yards. Punt returns, Travis Benjamin had 22 yards for one kickoff punt return and for 22 yards, and Brendan Ayuk with 1 punt return with -4 yards. Robbie Gold for field goals, he went 1 for 1. For extra points, he went 2 for 3. And yeah, Mitch Wisnowski had 3 punts today, averaging 100. I mean, averaging 137 yards. Kicked for 137 yards, 45 yards per average. 60 is the longest punt he had of the day. And yeah, that's all the stats. I'm gonna go over Russell Wilson's because uh, we didn't play well against him, and just wanted to see. He went 30 for 37, 231 yards, 6.2 average, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, a QBR of 30.9. And yeah. So for playoff spots, we are 6-6. I believe we're still in the 7th seed. I mean, we are just entering the 7th seed. No, we fall back to the 7th seed. We were currently in the 6th. Um, Washington won and Eagles won. I believe Carolina lost. Rams won. And yeah. For injuries, I believe there was only one with Emmanuel Mosley. I think he tweaked his ankle. He did not return. And was Elijah Mitchell. He got banged up in his head, but he returned. And let's see here. And yeah, that's it for stats and anything that happens. What else? Some things we need to address is special teams. I think without Trenton Cannon, I think it's going to be an issue. I wonder who's going to come back week 14. Who is going to be that guy returning the kickoffs? I believe it's either going to be Brandon Ayuk or I hope it's not Travis Benjamin. But it is what it is. And yeah, it was shaken up. But also, um, from first quarter and all the way to the end of the first half, literally, it was just a crazy start. Um, Momentum for Seattle's offense was bad because the Niners were just in it. They were just punching them right in their mouth, and um, they did get a 70, I believe, a 75-yard uh, fake punt return. Not a fake punt return. It was a fake punt. They ran it out, and it was 75 yards. And that's the kind of mistakes that we don't need because that gave Seattle the momentum. And it was early on in the game. Coming back, we did get a fumble recovery, which set up great field position, I believe, for that first touchdown to George Kittle. And then Seattle had the ball, and then they went 3 and out. And basically, from the second drive all the way to the last two of Seattle's drives, they were just awful. They weren't rolling the ball, and they had I think they had like three and outs on their their first 4 possessions, if I'm not wrong, and or they had some fumbles, and yeah, they came back. It was we fumbled, I believe. Though Jimmy Garoppolo threw an interception on our side of the red zone, their side of the red zone, and he threw it off to. He picked it off. He was trying to throw it to Trent Sherfield. Ended up in Bobby Wagner's hands, and they're already at the 15-yard line. So it was like what they're starting their drive at the 20, which isn't setting up the defense in a really good spot. And I believe they had a little fight in them. And let me see. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's really hard to put your defense in that spot. And for the defense to battle it out, I think it was a third down that it was touchdown play. But it's really difficult to win games when you're setting your defense like that. And it's just not really good. Like, it's not really good. And yeah. So they end up scoring a touchdown. So it's 14-7. And let me see here. See the drives. Um, so it was a oh, never mind. I got it wrong. So it was okay. So they scored a fake punt, and then George Kittle had a 24-yard pass from Jimmy Garoppolo, and then Elijah Mitchell had a 2-yard run for the touchdown. That was the end of first quarter. Robbie Gold had a 50-yard field goal, and then Adrian Peterson had a 1-yard touchdown run. Uh, George Kittle with a 40-yard touchdown pass from Jimmy Garoppolo. And no, the Estridge had a 7-yard pass from Russell Wilson. Jimmy Garoppolo sacked in the end zone by Carlos Dunlap the second for a safety, and Tyler Lockett for a 12-yard pass from Wilson. And yep, those are the scoring drives for the Niners and Seattle. So let me read this real quick. Okay. So let's see. For all the late game mistakes and missed opportunities throughout the disappointed season, this is all Seattle. The Niners. Okay. San Francisco 6-6 saw its 3-game win streak snapped and was swept by Seattle this season. The 49ers were unable to get their run game going as in recent weeks with Elijah Mitchell. He only rushed for 66 yards on 22 carries. San Francisco's average set 178.3 rushing yards per game during its 3-game winning streak, but finished with 71 yards against Seahawks. Garoppolo threw for 299 yards and 2 touchdowns, but also had a pair of interceptions. The second grabbed by Diggs and setting up Seattle's go-ahead touchdown. George Kittle had 9 catches for 181 yards and 2 touchdowns, but was shut down in the second half until the final drive. Our offense, we didn't really do anything in the second half, and it's hard to win in Seattle if you don't do anything in the second half. Kittle said. On that final drive, it looks San Francisco's 5 plays to reach the Seattle 30, including completion to Kittle of the 29 and 14 yards. Brandon Ayuk's 11-yard catch got the 49ers to the Seattle 7. 2 runs by Elijah Mitchell yielded only 4 yards, and Garoppolo couldn't connect on his last 2 throws. San Francisco reserved running back Trent Cannon was carted off. I covered this already. Kittle was the second tight end in past 5 seasons with at least 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Darren Waller also did it last season against the Jets. Kittle had 5 catches for 121 and 2 touchdowns in the first half. And yeah, that's what it is. I think that should be it if I'm not wrong. Okay, just things we need to fix. I think we need to go back to just playing San Francisco 49ers football. Uh, we have proven that if we run the ball consistently, we are winning the game. Like how that stat showed. The 49ers in the last 3 win streak, the 49ers have rushed over 171 yards per game. Per game. Uh, Yesterday we could not build on the run game. Seattle really brought the heat on the 49ers. And that's when football becomes football. You have to adjust. And I need to see that. I need to see that. Because if we're not rushing the ball like how we usually do, we are not winning games like this. Seattle's a tough team, even though the record is what now? They were 3-8. And yeah, I we can't be turning the ball over like that. We can't have interceptions like that. We cannot have fumbles on our side of the football field. We're not setting up our defense into a good spot. And special teams as well. We cannot make little stupid little plays like that. When we're punting and kicking it off, we did good. People stayed in their lanes and really had it going. But when we were returning, it was a different story. Guys were missing their blocks, um, creating fumbles. Travis Benjamin holding the ball on the other side of his hand. Like, that's what we need to fix. And get ready for Cincinnati because Cincinnati is going to bring you. Really good team. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. Let me go read this again. Put it right here in banners. Listen to the end of the show. Get a coupon to save 10% of the Faithful by the Faithful shirts at www.ninersfaithfulradio.com/shop. Get your officially licensed for Niners gear by using our affiliate link. You save 10% and it helps out our show. Go to cgiant.com and use the promo code NinersFaithfulRadio to save on all your concert, theater, and sporting events. Go to www.49ersradio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can find the show. You can also follow us on social media. And for example, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, NinersFaithfulRadio.com, Niners Faithful Radio, and on Twitter, and Niners Faithful R. And thanks for tuning into the show. As promised, these are probably old. I probably shouldn't have gone through these. Thank you. This was week 13 review. I hope you enjoy the show. And until next week, thank you.